Keeton could remember when he was 2 years old not having enough food to eat or being hungry. His parents were drug users, and he was adopted by his maternal grandmother at the age of 3 because the parents were not doing a very good job of parenting him and his sister.
There were some indicators that Keeton was being abused.
Keeton was sexually abused by an older male cousin, and knowing that he experienced that on a weekly basis for so long, it was hard to sit with.
He would talk about it happening sometimes daily, sometimes if not daily, a couple times a week, and that's over a span of 10 years.
The perpetrator had been in our home because we trusted him. He was a family member. We never had a reason to distrust him.
And if you can imagine being 5 years old, you can't even sometimes wrap your mind around it.
I do have guilt because myself, I was a victim, and I feel like I should have noticed the signs, and I didn't. I don't know how I missed them, but I did.
A child, instead of, playing and worrying about riding his bike, is worried about somebody's coming over and what are they going to do to me.
No one knew him the way I did. And they wouldn't feel the type of repulsion I did just seeing him in a room. Ever I started getting older, and it was becoming more and more like a regular thing, and I started to deteriorate, and I started to lose myself, and I guess that was my way of protecting myself.
Keeton told a friend at school that this had taken place. We had no idea. And that child was brave enough to go to the authorities and tell them what Keeton had told them.
My friend went to the principals and told them what was going on. I was to the point where I didn't want to be alive anymore.
He kept it all bottled up, and eventually it affected him. It affected his schoolwork, and he broke down.
Miss Laura, she was the first detective besides the officer at my school. And I remember she was like, if I had a choice, I'd take you home.
The floodgates opened, and he began to disclose the pain of the sexual abuse, which he had been experiencing since he was 5 or 6 years old.
It started out as fondling, and it went to much more.
But his vivid description of everything that happened to him, it's something that you'll never forget.
And Keeton, to his credit, did a fantastic job describing in detail what had happened. Those details provided the basis for a search warrant, and once we obtained the search warrant, we were able to go into the house and look through the house, and we were able to find a key piece of evidence. Particularly, there was a spot in the carpet downstairs where DNA evidence was found at that time, and then we sent that to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's crime lab, which in our particular case was fantastically strong evidence that this crime had taken place, and we felt very comfortable to go forward and to prosecute this case.
For a while, we weren't sure if he would have to testify, but in the end, all Keeton had to do in court was give a victim impact statement.
Keeton had never been able to face the accuser. That day he was. And when he spoke to him, it was with authority.
And the whole courtroom just became motionless and quiet.
It was like I was crumbling, but at the same time I was building myself back up.
you could see like a weight was lifted off of the child.
I can feel myself smiling and starting to tear up now because he has come so far.
I kept working hard and I ended up graduating in December.
Childhelp has been his anchor, his sanctuary. I think he's turned his whole life around because of Childhelp.
He's smiling, he's happy. It's just awesome to see him the way he is today.
He's never been a quitter, and he has to be his own hero. And I think he is. He just doesn't know it. But he's a hero for a lot of people.
It's gonna make me tear up a little bit, but it is. I feel honored. It's a huge passion of mine. I love my job. And I go away, or I go home each day knowing that I was able to help another kid. And to see Keeton now, it's just awesome.